Alrighty, good afternoon, all. We are at our last lesson of today. So, of course, before we start any lesson or activity, we go over our class expectations, which is champs. And the C stands for conversation level, which is a two. One is a whisper. I don't expect you guys to whisper all day. So, two is okay. Two is pretty much the tone I'm speaking at now. The H stands for help. If you need help, you can raise your hand. If A stands for activity. Our activity today is the life cycle of a plant. The M stands for movement. We want the movement to be a minimum, but if you have to use the restroom, you can just raise your hand, or you can just motion for me and say, Miss Thompson, can I use the restroom? Raise your hand at the letter R, and you can use the restroom. If you have to get up to stretch, I'm not going to be upset with you about that, but please stay in your area and please be aware when you stretch or when you do make a movement that you don't hit anybody. So let's kind of like stay in like a little bubble area. Participation, I need you guys to participate, please. When you participate, it helps me get through the lesson. And success, well, I'm sorry, the P was for participation and the S is for success. And basically, let's make good choices and get through the rest of the day so we can get to our Friday activities. Okay, now let's begin. I want to begin with showing you guys a video that can kind of, remind you or show you a couple things about what today's lesson is about.
Roots develop, they start to function. The roots start their role of absorbing water and nutrients, while the leaves continue photosynthesis for food production. Growing to maturity. In this stage, the plants become mature, their roots become stronger, and branches and leaves also increase. During this time, plants are ready to make flowers and new seeds. Now we'll see the next stage of the plant life cycle. Flowering, pollinating, and seedling. When plants become mature, they start to make flowers from modified shoots. In most plants, a flower contains male and female parts. The female part is called a pistil, which contains stigma, style, and ovary. The male part is called a stamen, which contains anther and filament. In the pollination process, the pollen from the male part of the plant transfers to the female part of the plant. The stamen produces the pollen, which needs to reach the pistil for the production of seeds. Pollination generally occurs naturally, and most often is due to insects, birds, and mammals. The sticky pollen clings to their bodies where it is carried from one plant to another. Honeybees do more pollination than any other.
Alrighty. Thank you for my handy help for slapping that for me. Alright, so I want to share with you this photosynthesis coloring page. Do you guys remember when we worked on this yesterday?
Yes.
Alrighty, and so to activate your prior knowledge is plants are living organisms that use light from the sun to make food in the form of sugar called glucose, a process called photosynthesis. Plants get nutrients from the soil through their roots. They breathe in carbon dioxide and oxygen. And that's all this was saying. This is, we went over this yesterday more in depth, but I just wanted to give you guys a reminder of what photosynthesis was. Because it has a lot to do with our lesson today. We'll come back to this as well. So we have a few definitions that I want to go over before we start our lesson because there are a lot of big words in this section. And so I don't want you guys to be confused or lost, along the way. I also have photos that go along with the definitions we're going to be working on today. The first one is photosynthesis. And of course, we just looked at that document. I'll hand that to you all so you can look at where I read the definition. And photosynthesis is the process by which green plants and other organisms use sunlight to synthesize food from carbon dioxide and water. And all synthesize means is to make. So they use sunlight to make food from carbon dioxide and water. Can you guys please pass the picture around so that the whole class can see it? Thank you very much. When you finish, just place it in the towel for me. Alrighty, our next definition is going to be glucose. And I also have a photo that shows an example of glucose. Please take it and pass it around, but pay attention and listen as you browse the picture. Glucose is a type of sugar you get from foods you eat, and your body uses it for energy. And energy is all energy means is fuel. Your body uses glucose as fuel. Glucose comes from the Greek word sweet. Alrighty. Next word up is organism. This is an example of an organism. Single cell organism. Here you go. And organism, an individual, animal, plant, or single cell life form. That's the definition. So organism is an individual animal, plant, or a single cell life form. Plants, algae, and a group of bacteria are the only organisms capable of performing photosynthesis. Do anybody remember what photosynthesis is and what it means?
Yes.
No.
So, in your own words, I'll post the definition back for you so you can have that help. But what does photosynthesis mean to you in your own words?
It's the process of which green plants and other organisms use sunlight to synthesize food from carbon dioxide and water.
Okay, that's the definition out the Webster Dictionary. Now, what does that mean to you?
I can't really think of what it means, but I think it's like when what it means is a plant making its own food and water to live its life.
Yep, that's exactly what it means. A plant using water and sunlight to create its own food so it can live. Good job. Did a good job. See, don't doubt yourself. Okay, so carbon dioxide is our next vocabulary word. It is a picture of a factory emitting fog, which has some carbon dioxide inside of it. Here you go. Take that and pass it around, please. And carbon dioxide definition is a colorless and non-flammable gas at a natural temperature and pressure. And I have other examples of what it may be listed as, but this means CO2 means carbon dioxide. This is just the chemical compound. So, like in science, you may see this more often after you see this once or twice. And I just wanted to show you guys an example. All this means is there are 2 oxygen parts to 1 carbon molecule, and all this makes up what CO2 looks like as a chemical breakdown. All right, thank you guys for participating. So the next photo and definition we have up is nectar. I'm pretty sure you guys heard that word before. There you go. And nectar is a sugary fluid secreted by plants to encourage pollination. Anybody want to take a crack at what secreted means? It's okay. I thought ahead. So secreted means is released. So nectar is a sugary fluid secreted or released by plants to encourage pollination. And encourage in this, it means help. Because I know sometimes those bigger words can stump us. So in order for us to have a full understanding of what we're reading, we have to figure out what these words mean. We can't skip them just because they're large words. Either you raise your hands, ask for help, or you all know I keep dictionaries in the corner. So grab a dictionary, look it up, or if you happen to have access to your laptop, look up the word. We don't want to guess or skip. Well, it's okay to guess, but you still want to know what the word means. You don't want to just skip it because it'll mess with your understanding of the whole sentence. All right, and last but not least, we have pollination. And a photo of pollination. I will pass on the classroom the brief description. And here, there you go. Pass it around, please, when you finish. Pollination is the transfer of pollen from one plant part to another. so that new seeds can be produced. And in this sense, produced just means make. Alrighty. That concludes the first part of our lesson. Now we will go to the part where we work together to complete the plant cycle project. I'm going to need you guys' help, so we'll read the paragraph together, and that'll help us figure out a proper placement of the steps to have a complete cycle of a plant's life. I will ask if one of you guys can help me, please read a sentence. Either I'll read the sentence and you can read the sentence back, or we could take turns. I just would like some participation. Or either, you know what, one of you guys can glue. As I read, you guys can glue the steps. Okay, how about that? So it's 5 of those. So this is the life cycle of a plant diagram. We're basically going to be placing, I already have them pre-cut for you guys, and you also have to do this on your own, so it's best if you pay attention. We're going to be placing the cycles of plant life cycle in order from the first stage all the way to the last stage. So a plant starts out as a seed buried in the ground. Do you see a seed in those selections? Alrighty, you found the seed? Okay, let's get it glued to the wall, please. Here you go. Can you get that in the bubble number 1, please? Now read. So a plant starts out as a seed. No, it's okay for you to be in the video. You see the bubble number 1? Make sure you put it in bubble number 1. Okay, so a plant starts out as a seed buried in the ground. As water falls on the seed and the sun warms it, its hard shell opens and starts to grow out of its roots. As the plant grows, its stem bursts through the soil. So do we see a stem bursting through the soil? Alrighty. Good job. Sorry guys, I'm kind of displaced because we're in a different location. Here you go. Now, I need you to place that in the second stage bubble, please. Can you reach it or you need a little help? Okay, can you hold it for me while I help him, please? Yeah. You know where it goes? Because that's glue. Once you get it there, that's where it goes. All right. Good job. So, a plant starts out as a seed buried in the ground. As the water falls on the seed and the sun warms it, its hard shell opens and starts to grow out of its roots. As the plant grows, its stem bursts through the soil. That's the second step we just did. Then leaves start to grow out of the stem. As the plant gets bigger, it will grow buds, which later sprout into flowers. So let's stop here because I believe we're at a step. Do we have a step where it shows that the plant is growing a stem?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Here you go. Now hold that. That would be step 3. Alright, then said then leaves start to grow out of the stem. As the plant gets bigger, it will grow buds, which later sprout into flowers. So we have to put the plant growing its leaves and then buds, which will later sprout into flowers. There you go. Alright, yeah, he can reach that one on because it's at the bottom. Good job. Well, let's not cover the number 4 because we're going to use this as a reference when we finish our one that you guys are doing on your own. So I can check it to make sure you guys can, once you finish, you can reference it to see if you have it right. And if not, you start over before you glue. Alrighty, so the last step, let me reread it. As the plant gets bigger, it will grow buds, which later sprout into flowers. Sometimes those flowers turn into fruit. As the bees feed on nectar, they pollinate the plants, allowing more seeds to be made and scattered to grow. Alright, who has that last step? There you go. Can you face it up there for me, please? Alright, 15 minutes. Great job, guys. I love the participation. I think we have to find more projects that we work together on. Alrighty, so before we move forward, I want to know, can someone help me and show me where to make sure you guys were paying attention, to show me where the leaves of the plant are located. We could also, if you don't want to use the small one, we can use the photosynthesis document. Alright, can somebody point out to me a leaf on the plant? Good job. Alright, and can somebody show me the stem of the plant? Alrighty, because somebody else will try. Can someone show me the roots of a plant? Good job, good job. And now it's time for me to release you guys to do this on your own. But I want to make sure, so I'm going to give you the same activity we just did before, this one right here. And before you glue it, I want you guys to go up to the board to check your work to make sure it's correct. Thank you. To make sure it's correct before you glue, okay? Because when we have to glue it, we have to make sure it's correct. You guys have any questions about what you are to do? I'm going to give you the same document. You have to cut out the circles, and you have to place them in the correct order. For now, I'm going to cover it, because I want you guys to use the paragraph that is attached to the document to help you figure out the proper steps of plant growth, the plant cycle. But once you're finished, let me know, and you can take your paper over to reference and make sure it's correct, and then you guys can glue. And once we're all finished, we can start our Fun Friday. Any questions? Any concerns? Alrighty, but before I release you guys, I want you guys to know, while you work on your plant cycle project, use the passage that is provided. And remember, good readers use context clues to determine the meaning of unfamiliar and unknown words. Because there may be a word in there that we did not go over that you guys, may not be familiar with. So using context clues, of course, use your teacher and use your definitions that we went over. I have these posted on the classroom, so you can, you have reference to them in case you don't remember. And also use your other resources, which would be a digital, your computer, because you have access to that right now. Alrighty, I'm going to release you guys. I'm going to give you about 5 to 10 minutes to do this because I want you to use the scissors safely and not rush. So please raise your hand once you think you have it together before you glue. Do not glue until I check it and we know it's right, okay? Alrighty, thank you guys.